How you
Yeah.
doing, man? Should I just call you by your Discord name, or how should we give you an introduction?
You can call me Brandon. My name's Brandon.
All right, nice to meet you, Brandon. It's a chilly day where you're at, huh? I mean, it's getting colder everywhere, I think.
No, I just didn't feel like changing into something
Yeah,
a little bit more, so I just put a hoodie on.
yeah, I feel that. But yeah, how about you start with telling, like, we're gonna wait for some people to get in here, but you can just start with telling me like your opinions or your political perspectives, and how you're feeling with everything in general.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely on the conservative side, probably more moderate than extreme. Um, Definitely think that there's a lot of liberal ideology that is an ultimate uh,
Self-destruction.
result of ultimately just indoctrination and brainwashing, like university campuses and college campuses and stuff.
Oh yeah, we can't
Um,
forget about Netflix. I don't know if you've seen that freaking new
Netflix
Netflix
too,
documentary, or
Netflix
not
too,
documentary, cartoon show. Oh,
cartoons
dude.
pushing transgender ideology. Like, we can't forget that this is a mental illness. It's called gender dysphoria. That is a really rare occurrence, but it's just over the last 10 to 15 years, it's just been so normalized by our society, by
It's
the
just a trend. It's like a TikTok
by,
trend. It's like
yeah,
something cool
yeah.
to do. Good
Sorry,
morning,
I keep
Drewby.
checking.
Good morning, love. Good morning, everybody. In the
Yeah, sorry, I
chats.
keep checking behind me and stuff. I got two cats that just got neutered, so I gotta keep an eye on them.
That's okay. You adopted two new cats, or what's up?
Yeah, we adopted two cats about 2-3 weeks ago, but they just got neutered yesterday, so I gotta keep an eye on them, make sure they don't mess with their surgery areas.
Stuff.
That way it doesn't get infected.
Yeah. Men can be woman. Woman can't be men. What? I don't know what you're trying to say there. What the hell does that mean? You mean
That
woman
like
can be
pretty
woman and men can be men? I'm a little bit confused. I think that's what you meant to say. I know you, so I don't think you would say that. That sounds kind of crazy. That sounds like some of that liberal stuff that we were
It
just
might,
talking about.
it might have been a mistype. They might have forgot the T there.
Yeah, it might have been a mistype. What do you think about the government shutdown? We're on day 2 now.
So I haven't been keeping up to date with this stuff. Is it actually in a shutdown right now, or is that just
Yeah, it's actually in a shutdown since yesterday.
speculation?
They're
I'll
talking
shut.
about cutting some federal worker jobs, especially for the green. Oh, you cut out for a second. Ooh, now it's getting an echo. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have to leave and click the link and come back because it messed up. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome into the live stream. Okay. Men can't be woman and woman can't be men. Yeah. The thing that I found
That's
that's
basic.
even a little bit weirder is that mostly it's men trying to be women. That's all I gotta say. I'm not saying there's not some women out there that do it too, but it's mostly men trying to be women. That's the most disturbing part to me, probably, personally.
I cut out because I was trying to bring up X.
And then they'll say, why do you care? Why do you care what other people do? I'll say, well, I don't want my mother or, a girl I'm dating or anything like that. Like, I don't want them to go into the bathroom or a woman's private space and feel uncomfortable. I mean, it's really that simple. It has nothing to do about discrimination or whatever they want to cry. The only thing it has to do with is keeping women's spaces and men's spaces men's spaces.
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No
Can you
more
hear
echo.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. No more echo.
No more echo. It's perfect, man. It's perfect. Good connection. Yeah, so like, what was I gonna say? The government shutdown, like, people are crying at the top of their lungs. They're like, "Oh, the Republicans are lying. They don't have any health care, or the illegal immigrants aren't getting health care. They don't get free health care in the States." California was actually the first state a
They
couple
get
years back. through Cali Medicare, CaliCare to get health care for illegal immigrants.
They get precisely everything that we should be giving to our homeless veterans.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. Like they spent, they'll cry, they'll say, "No, those are state-ran programs." CaliCare or whatever the hell it's called, it gave $8 billion. Some of that, at least half or more of that was federal funds. So at least of the $8 billion they gave to illegal immigrants, at least half of that was federal funds.
Yeah.
And also, we got someone in the chats. They said, "I just lost my federal job. I'm okay with it because it's gonna help America trim the fat. I'll find another job." Well, we commend you, sir. We really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Sorry, just putting their cones back on.
Finally, we got someone that has something positive to say. He said, "I just lost my federal job. I'm okay with it
Yeah.
because it's gonna help America trim the fat. I'll find another job."
Facts.
Smash that like and subscribe button, though, guys. Every stream is some American doing some political stream or playing a guitar. I mean, this
Americans
show
gotta
is a little bit different. This is actually kind of like a talk show. We're gonna have like a little debates maybe on some stuff. We probably agree on mostly everything, but we're just talking and discussing about some things. Stop the waste of money. That's what I'm saying. Smash that likes and subscribe button. Stop the waste of money.
There are a lot of government jobs that have been given to people, and they have done absolutely nothing with the title that they've been given. So it's just a waste of taxpayer dollars. It's like, I'm a sheep. That's
A
cool.
part of this bill is two things. First off, they want to give more benefits to illegal immigrants, give them more health care, et cetera, et cetera. Second thing is they also want to bring back, funding for ABC or whatever it was. I think it was ABC. No, AB. What was that one? No, PBS. PBS. Sorry, PBS. They want to give federal funding back to PBS, and they also want to give back the USAID money that was funding transgender and LGBT programs in other countries. Why do we need to fund programs in other countries that lower birth rates? I'm genuinely curious. Like, how is that helping other countries? Like, lower their population. Charles Schwab, they will eat the bugs. They'll own nothing and be happy. Like, is that really what we're like promoting now with this new world order shit? I mean, it's not a lie, man. Look it up. Look it up. It's all there. You people saying that's a lie are the same people that believe that illegal alien immigrants don't get health care. I mean, California was one of the first ones to do this program, and half of the money in this program, more than half of this money, comes from the federal government. So they say, "Oh, it's only state funded." Even if it was only state funded, dude, that's still stealing taxpayer dollars. But the fact that it's federal funding just makes it all around heinous.
Right, and I'm seeing the comments as well about the Epstein files being released, yada yada yada. Even under the Democratic administration, under Biden administration, they didn't release them either.
If
Like,
this was so important for you guys to release the Epstein files, why didn't you say it when you had your precious Joe Biden under? Why was it only popularized when Elon Musk went on Twitter, because he was pissed off at Donnie and said, "You're in the files"? And why are they now saying Elon Musk is in the files when he came back to his friendship with Trump? The minute that Trump and Elon were seen hugging on TV and at Charlie Kirk's funeral, they were seen hugging and hanging out at Charlie Kirk's funeral. Literally a day later, they come out, Elon Musk is in the Epps. Talk about this like months ago. Unless you guys have dementia, your favorite president had dementia for 4 years. You didn't say a single word until he was about to run up against Trump again, and you said, "Oh wait, never mind, guys. He is actually Sleepy Joe. He does have dementia. We need to install Kamala immediately with no primary." Then you said that was okay, dude. If she won, I would actually argue that would be like completely undemocratic because she never ran in the primaries. Like she just stole the election basically. I mean, if they thought January 6th was bad, I think this would honestly trigger people 100 times more. The fact that she never ran in the primaries, and if she won the presidency. I literally have a list right here. How many of you people think illegal immigrants actually don't get free health insurance? Because literally they do. Immigrants contribute $1.6 trillion to the GDP, you dopes. No, actually, they're a tax burden on our system. I don't really care if they pay $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 or even $5,000 in taxes a year. For every single kid these illegal immigrants have, it's weighing on our tax system. Say they have 3 kids, that's $15,000 per kid per year that's on the taxpayers, you know? Every kid, it takes $15,000 per year to put them in public school. These illegal immigrants are not paying $15,000 in taxes. They're not making 150 grand a year, 200 grand a year. They're not making that much. So not to mention they have all these kids that they put in public schools. If they have 2 of them, that's $30,000 in taxes they would have to pay to actually benefit the system, just to break even. Now, if they take welfare, food stamps, Section 8, etc., I mean, they could be damn near using $60,000 in benefits if they have a family of, of like 4 or 5. They could be taking up to $60,000 in benefits. Do illegal immigrants pay $60,000 a year in taxes? Hell, do they even pay $15,000 a year in taxes? Most Americans don't even pay $15,000 a year in taxes. That means some Americans could be a deficit to the tax system. But winning in welfare comparatively to the amount of taxes they're paying. I don't give a damn if these people are paying like a few $1,000s in taxes. At least if an American citizen is using some tax systems, he grew up in America. He was paying state taxes, and he was paying taxes at the store every time he bought something. But when these illegal immigrants come into this country, they have not been paying taxes all their life, so they're just a deficit on the system in general. Like, there's no arguing that, illegal immigrants, most of them don't even make the median salary. And even if they did meet the median salary, they still wouldn't make, enough money to actually not be a deficit, considering all the social programs, and they have a lot. I don't know the statistics on it, but it seems like the illegal immigrants are having more kids than some of the actual citizens. So, and then that's 15,000 per kid. 15,000 per kid per year. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go. Fuck, the echo again is back, man. Sorry, man. I don't know why you keep cutting out. I mean, it's just simple logic, guys. It's simple damn logic. Smash that like and subscribe button if you guys have any questions, comments. Drop some super chats. I'm here to hear it. I love legal immigrants. Slap that like and subscribe button, guys. Let's get to 20 likes. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, you can drop some super chats. I'm all up for it. I'm all ears. Whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm here for it. Is he going to come back? Let's see and wait. Oh, here he is. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm also moderately conservative. I've had people on here that are on the far right, and, I really disagree with them. I disagree with both the far left and the far right. I mean, people on the far left, I've had conversations with them before. This is like a trending topic on my channel right now. But a lot of socialists and full-on communist Democrats literally think McDonald's workers should be making $75,000 a year. Giving you money to tell you that you suck? Why do I suck?
I mean, everybody's gonna say somebody's super different. They don't have no.
I mean, people that are on the far right, man, they don't believe in legal immigration. They don't believe in, they don't believe in legal immigration. They hate all immigrants. They're like white nationalists, a lot of them. Some of them are white nationalists that are literally like, freaking a quarter Mexican, a quarter Hispanic, and they'll scream at you. They'll say, "Well, I got white skin." I'm like, man, it doesn't matter. Like, like actual white nationalists won't take you seriously. So I don't know how the hell you're like on the radical right with, like half Hispanic or like a quarter Hispanic when, like the KKK and the other white nationals aren't going to take you seriously, dude. And fuck that shit anyway. I don't support any of that, bullshit. Quincy, why do I suck? You dropped a super chat and said I suck. Why? You can't even give a reason. That shows your intelligence. Next. Fix your damn audio. What's wrong with my audio? Someone said the audio is better. Is my audio sounding okay for you?
Yeah, your audio sounds fine. I don't know. It's probably their speakers busted or something. Your audio is fine.
Sounds like the average, Democrat to me. Either they're lying or the speaker's probably busted.
Yeah, well, I mean, logically, there are extremes on both sides that are just deplorable. Everyone can agree on that. That's why I personally am a lot more moderate. But over the last 15 to 20 years, if you were considered a centralist, you're not really considered a centralist anymore. You are considered right leaning.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people will say they're central, but
yeah, just because the radical left is pushed, or excuse me, the progressive left is pushed so far left that the people who were centralist before are technically considered right-leaning now.
Yep, that's 100%. And I see a lot of people hiding the fact of like, oh, I'm a centralist, and then they're like, they're obviously like extremely left leaning. They'll say I'm a centralist, and then 2 seconds later, oh, I believe in open borders and healthcare for all illegal immigrants. I'm like, all right, sir, I don't know how you can consider yourself, a centralist.
Yeah.
But no, people, the people on the extreme far right definitely bother me. But I will say that it's a very slim a majority amount of Americans that are far right, and they're mostly like very young people, 18, 19, 20 years old. No sound? Can you guys hear me or not? I'm muted. Let me try to close this and come back on. Hello?
Hello.
Someone said they couldn't hear me, which was one of the moderators. I mean, hopefully you guys can hear me now. You can hear me, right? Hear me?
Yeah,
No?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I've always been able to hear you. I don't know.
I know. It's just one person said they couldn't hear, and they were literally a moderator, so I knew they could. Okay, so that should have fixed it. Good morning, Brunel. Good morning. Yeah, no. As I was saying, like, I just don't understand how some radical leftists can scream at the top of their lungs, "Oh, they don't get insurance. Legal immigrants don't get insurance, man. Don't be ridiculous." Maybe that's just them coping with the fact that they claim that they care about Americans, that their party is for Americans, but then there's no way. Some of them will say, "Well, we should give health care to all." Well, okay, we already know that's not going to happen. That's not a feasible thing in the states. So let's be honest here. We should at least take away the immigrants' illegal health care. I mean, California spends $8 billion a year, and for illegal immigrant health care, that gives 1 million illegal immigrants health care. 1 million. I mean, shit, that could be 1 million. That could pretty much give every single homeless veteran or retired veteran or people that need insurance in the entire freaking state. I mean, there's 24 million or something like that in California, maybe more, I think. Maybe there's even 32 million. I don't know the exact population, but what do you think that the Democrat Party is, doing the worst at right now? If you had to give your opinion.
Mm. It's between the bullshit illegal immigration and then just the pushing of the transgender ideology. Probably it's between the one of those two.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, like
I
I'm
very
starting to wonder if they're funding like media companies like Netflix because dude, why did you see that cartoon of that kid? It encourages what's the word for it?
did you
Encourages, separation from the family, from your parents.
did you see the live action show? Like the boy was dressed as a girl in a doctor's bed, and doctors came in like, "Hey, how's he doing?" And then the older girl like took her out and was like, "Yeah, hey, that's a girl, not a boy. Like, treat her as such." And it's just like, bro,
No,
here's a
I didn't
question.
see that.
Here's a question to test the logic of anybody who believes that transgenderism is and gender identity is a thing and not a mental illness. If we don't allow children the right to drink, consume alcohol, smoke cigarettes, why do we allow them to be able to say, "Oh, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, cut my dick off"?
That's one thing I'm gonna say. Like, okay, you might agree with a lot of what the Democrats do, but at the end of the day, just for the one simple fact that they let 11 and 12-year-old boys cut off their wieners, they'll let a 6-year-old cut off his wiener and take hormones. If I mean, how can you support a party that does that?
Why do I care what families are doing? Maybe because the child is the priority and you should absolutely do everything in your power to take care of that child, and affirming a dysphoria is not taking care of that child.
Now, I have someone in the comments saying this classic Democrat lie. Two things the Democrats love to lie about. First off, they love to lie and say illegal immigrants aren't getting free health care. The second lie they love about is to say that children are not getting bottom surgeries. Dude, I understand that they're not like, I understand there's not like tens of millions of kids cutting off their wieners. Not yet. But they're look it up on Google. It might be rare, who cares? But it's happening. It doesn't
Right.
matter if it's 10,000 or if it's 5.
Chemical
One is too
castration.
many. It should be illegal.
They don't understand that chemical castration is the equivalent of physical castration. It's the same thing.
Yeah, and also I don't agree with hormones either. Even if they were just giving them hormones, that's fucked up. They'll say, "Oh, science tells us if kids take hormones, they can go back into puberty
If
later."
you once you
What the
return,
fuck are you talking about? That's bullshit.
I'm look. This is why I consider myself more moderate. Once you turn 18, you're more than capable of doing whatever you want with your body. But if you're an
I
adult with a
agree with you there.
if you're an
If you want
adult
to be
with
trans, if you want to cut off your wiener when you're 18, okay. But not when you're fucking 7 years old. Not happening, Jimmy.
right, right. When I was 7 years old, I had two older sisters that I lived with. I like to play with their Barbie dolls sometimes. Does that make me a woman? And no.
No.
Every I am very convinced that every person on the planet at some point in their life goes through a phase where they're uncomfortable with their body. Some people it sticks around even through puberty. Puberty usually, fixes these issues and these feelings. But to the rare cases that it doesn't, this is called gender dysphoria and should be treated as such. It is a mental illness. We don't go around affirming schizophrenics that, oh, the demons that they're seeing. So why do we affirm the idea that I don't feel comfortable in my skin? I think I'm a girl, even though they're biologically a male.
You don't go into, yeah, literally, I like your point. You don't go into the therapist and tell him, well, I'm hearing voices. It's telling me to jump off a bridge. The therapist doesn't tell you, well, why don't you just jump off that bridge? You'll just land in the water, listen to the voices. You'll be okay. Like, dude. But for this, all of a sudden they say, yeah, sure, cut off your wiener. Take these hormones. We got it. Yeah, also, if you want to talk about, the regret rate, most of them that do have that surgery, especially at a young age, regret it.
Yeah. I saw a post yesterday. A lady was like, after like 10 years of suppressing my natural body and like binding my breast and stuff. Like I came to the realization I wasn't born in the wrong body, so I'm learning to love my actual body. I was born in, like, bro, it's terrible. The lies have been reported to the masses. Like, it's a natural thing to at one point in your life feel uncomfortable in your skin, but most
Yep,
people
and if
don't
you
see that
feel
reality.
uncomfortable, oh, now you have, that must be transgenderism. But this guy, here we go. Here's an example of someone on the far right. He wants to blame everything on a specific group of people. Now, if I blamed the violence, if I blamed, certain things like violence on a specific group of people, what would I be called? I would be called a racist. But it's fine for these Nick Fuentes supporters to, here's what he said basically. Y'all are so consumed by BS politics, it's two wings on the same bird. How is it two wings on the
No,
same bird when one political party is trying to cut off kids' fucking wieners, and the other one is, trying to get rid of insurance for illegal immigrants, which they should be doing because, we have homeless veterans and American citizens that deserve it more. And that bird is Jewish. Trans are sick, and voting doesn't make a difference. Keep telling yourself that, buddy. I guarantee you you're, 18, 19, 20 years old. Once you get to about, 25, 30 years old, 35 years old, then you can talk about, voting and whatnot and how, this or that, who runs the world, etc.
we should have
Because what you're
terms on.
saying is full of shit.
We should absolutely have terms on Congress as well.
Yeah, we should have terms on Congress. I had a great idea yesterday. We should hold Congress accountable every single time that they don't they don't balance the budget. They should either get a less salary or no salary, or they're not reelected, et cetera, et cetera. We have to somehow uh, force the Congress to do what the American people want, which is balance the budget better.
You know, our foreign aid policy is shit too. We need to stop giving, what is it, $3.8 billion to Israel every single year in a singular check, and we
I
write it
agree
off.
that we need to stop giving money to other countries, but I agree. I mean, we should still give our allies a little bit of money, whatever we give them. That's fine, but that's a little bit too much. The number you just named. But let's talk about
You
this
know,
for a second. We
what's
gave
up?
them $22 billion in the last. I looked up the numbers. It said we've given them $24 billion Israel in the last 4 years, something like that.
Yeah.
We've given Ukraine $220 billion in 3.5 years. We've given Israel since 1940, 48, something like that. We've given them $220 billion. You're telling me in 3.5 years we've given 75 years of what we've given to Israel and 3.5 years to Ukraine? Are you fucking kidding me right now? And you guys aren't going to talk. Some people out there, not talking about you, but some people out there aren't going to talk about the corruption tied to freaking Ukraine. Like, they're really going to sit here and tell me that some of this money isn't getting kicked back to Democrats in Congress, Democrat presidents like Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. You're really going to sit here and tell me that oh, Ukraine doesn't have a history of corruption. They've always been good. They never take their money and launder it and send it to politicians. Like, are we really just going to sit here and act like it's only one side, where only one government is having influence on our foreign politics? Definitely Ukraine is having a bit of influence on our foreign policy. I mean, like, why the fuck do you think? I mean, I'm not saying that Trump is bought or sold for. I think he might be doing what's right, but it's just a little odd that Trump flipped his thoughts on. He's like, oh, maybe we can get Ukraine's land back. Like, dude, what are you talking about right now? I want to know what person that was paid by Ukraine told you we could do that, because I don't think that's happening. I feel like there might be someone in his ear that's getting billions of dollars from Ukraine, and they're like, yeah, Mr. President, we can actually save Ukraine. We can, even though they lost 20% of their territory, we can actually save Ukraine. All we got to do is send in American troops and we can save Ukraine. Fuck no, don't do that. I hope that's not what happens. If anyone sends in troops, I hope it's the fucking UK or something. But I don't want any troops to be sent in. That's going to escalate to a World War fucking 3.
Yeah. It's funny because even both World War One and World War Two, America did want to be involved into it. It wasn't until an outside force committed an atrocity against American soil that we actually got involved in it. With Pearl Harbor, for example, we didn't get involved in World War II until Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
I might hold on. That might be slight misinformation.
Let me actually check. I remember about World War II. Let me check on some things. I remember, I think it was World War II or World War One. But here, let me double check. I'm not even going to say anything until I get the information.
Right. Yeah, no, it was Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, Pearl Harbor. You're right on that.
Yeah, we didn't even want it. Like, yeah, the average American citizen didn't want to be involved in this war. It wasn't until the attack on Pearl Harbor that we were dragged into it, that we got involved.
And then a few days later, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. Right after Pearl Harbor. And then right after we declared war on Japan. So that's what happens. You declare war on a country. If we declare war on Russia with putting in soldiers, who the fuck knows who's going to declare war on us? China could declare war on us. Iran could declare war on us. Who knows? One of these people
Respectful,
could declare war on us.
like they can declare war all they want, but without nuclear armaments, they can't do anything. We have our own nuclear
Interesting.
weapons. They have nuclear weapons. We have nuclear deterrence as well. But as far as invasion wise, like they can't step foot on American soil without.
I see some
It's, I
people
mean,
leaving the German flag and saying, "Oh, Germany would support you guys." Dude, I don't really care. You know, I don't want a war. Like, what do you not understand? I don't care if European forces support America in a war against the East. I don't want a war against the East. I mean, if I had to guess, that's pretty much how World War III would break out. It wouldn't even be about countries anymore. It would just be Western civilization versus Eastern civilization, like Iran, freaking China, and Russia. And most likely, any surrounding countries near those places would end up, getting freaking massacred by China or Russia, and they'd be forced to fight against the U.S. in the war. But that's just my personal opinion. But if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, drop some super chats. Let's get to 50 likes, boys. We got 600 people, almost 700 people in here. I guess some people are offended by a Department of War. Like, I have this one guy that was in the Marines. I mean, he's always screaming, "Well, Donald J. Trump's rhetoric, he's a monster. Look at the way he talks." But he doesn't actually talk about any actual, Trump policies that he doesn't like, which is crazy. And also, I saw another person out there. What did they say? They said, trying to remember what they said. They said something really interesting that I wanted to dispute. I'm trying to search through the comments again, but they're moving kind of fast. Japan did it because we withheld oil. Okay, well, that's still not a reason to bomb somewhere. Let me see what I can find here. I know for a fact that I was hearing some interesting things. Shit, I can't even remember the next talking point I was going to talk about. Whatever, let's see what you guys have to say. I already do repent. And the fucked up thing is, Yom Kippur is literally a fucking Jewish holiday, and we're having freaking Nazis in chat. But whatever. Nick Fuentes fans are going rampant. A lot of people are saying World War III is not going to be like a fighting war. It's either going to be drones or economic or something like that.
whatever World War III is, Albert Einstein said it best. He doesn't know what World War III is going to be fought with, but he knows for sure World War IV is going to be fought with sticks and stones.
Oh, yeah, that is true. Have you heard about Dearborn, Michigan? Or
You said
no?
Dearborn. What about them?
How it's being like a Islamified and they want Sharia law.
Oh God. Of
Yeah,
course.
man, they want Sharia law in Dearborn.
UK.
Oh yeah, no, the UK is horrible. They're trying to pass digital IDs. In the
It
UK, they're trying to pass digital IDs. That way, when you like look for another house online in another country and you try to hop on the plane, they'll say, "Not today, Mr. Millionaire. We saw that you're looking for another house in another country. You're gonna stay here and you're gonna pay for the Islamics taxes. You're gonna pay for the Islamics free healthcare and their housing. You're gonna pay for that, Mr. Millionaire. You ain't gonna escape the United Kingdom." You're not going to escape anytime soon. We got you on digital ID. You can't hop on this plane. Your digital ID has been canceled, sir. We saw you looking for houses in another country on your Google.
Yeah, with the
That's
UK, it's literally just replacement migration.
I mean, they're all pushing that same shit. Like Trump said at the UN, he told him to his face. He said that the UN is literally pushing illegal immigration in every single country. I mean, they're giving people free transportation, debit cards with money on it. Hell, they're probably the ones that are even funding the 4 and 5 star hotels that these illegal immigrants can stay at, or they're trying to push, countries to do it. You think it's a coincidence that America has 4 and 5 star hotels for illegal immigrants? And now the UK is also doing 4 and 5 star hotels for illegal immigrants. You think that's just a funny coincidence, or could you actually use your brain and see that it's the UN and it's other, you know, it's the economic for the form that the economic forum and the UN and all these, international collaborants organizations pushing the replacement factor. And they have they literally have people in England now saying, "Oh, I debated this one English girl. She was Scottish and she was English. Her dad was from Luton. I mean, I know her dad doesn't agree with her politically, but dude, she literally told me straight to my face. She's like, "Oh, it's fine if we if she's like, it's fine if they come in and replace our culture. We don't have any culture to begin with." I'm like, "God dang, your dad must be ashamed of you. I can't lie if you're saying that." She said, "Well, when Indians and Pakistanians and Muslims come here and they have children, they're now British." I'm explaining to her, I'm like, do you realize the difference between nationality and genetically being British, Anglo-Saxon? And she's like, "No, no, you don't understand. They are British. Just because they barely know any English and their children barely know just because their children barely know any English and they know freaking Arabic and they don't even know any English customs, they're English. They're British because they got a British passport." I'm like, no, no, ma'am. That's not how your genetic identity works. I'm not saying you have to be 100% Anglo-Saxon. I'm not even saying that you have to, but you have to be, somewhat related or somewhat actually British. Just because, American's a different thing. American, we have a bunch of people. It's a melting pot, but we still have illegal immigrants. We still have illegal immigrants in this freaking country. We can't forget about that. The UK doesn't even have illegal immigrants, basically. They just let people come in on boats, and as long as you file for asylum, like within a year or some bullshit, they'll just say, "Okay, you can stay in the country. It's fine." Meanwhile, Trump actually reinstated remain in Mexico, which means that illegal immigrants from Mexico can't just come into this country and then apply for asylum. They have to apply for asylum at the damn border,
Yeah.
which I,
Oh,
100% agree with.
not to cut your wisdom. I think we could pivot to something that's probably a little bit close to both of us, probably. Um, the religious, specifically Christian persecution going on in Africa right now, and that has
Yeah, we
been
can
since
talk about that.
2020. Like, how does that make you feel? Yeah, I'm sure you're a Christian, right?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I find that disgusting and I find that horrific that,
Yeah.
people are not even talking about this. Very few people actually even talking about this.
But you find the news of it on platforms like X, but mainstreams are not talking about it at all.
Nothing on CNN, nothing on MSNBC, nothing on
It doesn't
Fox,
fit
nothing
the
on
agenda.
any of these news sources.
It never fits the agenda. They don't care about Christian persecution. It doesn't fit their agenda. Just
They
another.
only care about Muslim persecution for whatever reason.
Yeah, they want to victimize Muslimhood. It makes you think, like, okay, if they are okay with Christian persecution but not Muslim persecution, it makes you think whose side they're really on.
No freaking kidding. I mean, I don't even understand how they're choosing the Muslims because they Muslim? Like, are people running this world? Are they Muslim? Or I honestly think they're probably non-religious and atheist, and they just want destruction of human society.
Atheism holds no fucking water, though. Look, I considered myself an atheist for like a decade, and there's just like no genuine like argument for atheism that holds any water.
I 100%
It's
agree, but
not,
you got to think: are people
it's
like
not
Bill Gates
logical,
and George
right?
Soros Christian? No, they're probably atheist, and they probably freaking don't really care about Christians. They rather just prioritize Muslims, especially if they can get more money in their pocket, and especially if they can freaking destroy and take out our country. Muslims don't harm anyone because of their religion. Are you kidding me right now? What about radicalized Islams? Thank you for that Sunday.
Jihadism, Hamas.
One
Let's
thing
be
I
real.
thought was hilarious was I was arguing with a guy that claimed that he was central the other day, and he said, "Well, the reason I'm defending Hamas in Palestine is because Hamas has never attacked on American soil." Dude, I've looked it up. There's at least six incidences where members of Hamas have attacked on American soil. So I
If
mean, I don't
we're
know what we're arguing about.
if we're gonna be intellectually honest about it, religion has been used by a lot of people to justify a lot of heinous acts over the course of history. This isn't a problem with religion. This is a problem with the people who use it as a justification.
I mean, I want war to end. I want us to stop, funding wars in other countries. But at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say that Hamas hasn't attacked, on American soil, hasn't attacked other countries, didn't do October 7th. I wanted the war to end. I want, the murders to stop, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, radical Islam is so good, so good. It's so good with all these, Muslims and Hamas and blah 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 blah. And I'm also not going to sit here and question why did Palestine reject statehood 6 times, and now countries in the West are screaming at the top of their lungs, "Oh, we got to give them statehood. We got to give them statehood." Well, why have they been rejecting it for like freaking so many years now, since like before the early 90s. They've rejected it 6 times. I mean, I'm just genuinely curious. I've never gotten an answer for that. And also, like I said, I believe in ending the war. I don't want to see, kids or people die. But like in my personal opinion, with this free Palestine thing, it's not really even about freeing Palestine.
It's
It's like more
it's
as a.
it's more just
Go
protest.
ahead.
I think ultimately a lot of these protests and stuff were started by paid agitators, like just to get into conspiracy of it. I think it's a lot beginning with paid agitators because if these people had any logical thought, like a lot of people are sheep. They just blindly follow. If you really think about it, who's protesting for a lot of these Palestinians? It's leftists generally. What are a lot of leftists? They're a lot of LGBTQ supporters. You can't like it's contradictory to support Palestine and support LGBT, and people don't understand that. If you support both, you're contradictory to your belief system because you believe that people should be allowed to be gay, but Palestinians are Muslims and they're under Sharia law. They don't believe they would kill gay people, throw them off of buildings for being gay.
Yep.
It's contradictory.
They don't even realize that when there's literally a movement called Queers for Palestine. Dude, every single time
It's
just thinking about
insane.
that blows my mind. That makes me laugh so freaking much. And I agree with what you said. These are paid agitators. The objective for Free Palestine is protesting actually going to free Palestine? Obviously not.
No,
So what's the
no.
real
And
purpose
it,
of the Free
let's be
Palestine
realistic
protests?
here. let's be realistic here. If the nation of Israel and Hamas's situations were switched, and Gaza and West Bank was primarily Israelis, and then the rest of it was all Hamas and Palestinians, the same thing would be happening on the other foot. The exact same thing. If the roles were reversed, the exact same thing would be happening. People don't understand.
I don't know if people would be really sympathetic for the Jews. I'm gonna be real. They would just scream at the top of their lungs. They'd be like, "Nah, man, these people run the banking systems, et cetera, et cetera." They wouldn't give a fuck. They'd be like, "Oh well, they're not Muslims." I don't know if I can say that they would be.
Ultimately,
Hello, Marina.
ultimately, I think we really need to start. A lot of countries are held up by our foreign aid policies, and I think we should just cut that shit off. Like America first, we need to fix our own borders before worrying about everybody else's borders, because it just hurts us more when we divert our funds to other countries.
I 100% agree. But another thing I wanted to mention was continuing with the Free Palestine thing. So, yeah, I do think it's funded, like you said, not to get any conspiracy theories, but I do think it is funded, and I think, paid actors, I think it's to agitate every Western civilization. Like, how come, most of these people, you cannot tell me most of these people at these protests are actively giving money towards Palestine. Not when they're protesting every single damn day of the week and they don't have anything going. Like, where are they getting this money from if they're all giving it and every single day they're protesting? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think they're actually. I think a lot of them aren't even giving money. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna support here emotionally for them. I'm doing my part here just for like emotion, et cetera, et cetera. And this is gonna sound horrible too, but this is gonna sound horrible, man. But I'm just gonna come out and say it. The facts I've seen is I've seen influencers rake in hundreds of thousands of dollars. I understand that people will say, "Oh, they're getting their reparations because they're Palestinians." My only question is, why are there some influencers out there that are Palestinian in Palestine, in Gaza, and I can see how much money they're making. I'm not stupid. I fully understand how social media works. Once you make hundreds of thousands of dollars, once you make $1 million, why are you still there juicing it, saying, "Come on, guys, donate"? I mean, you can't. I mean, I can understand maybe you're going to give it to other people, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, but like I don't understand. Why don't you just leave and move your family out? If that's some of their claims are like, "Come on, give us money so we can move our family out of here." I mean, okay, like maybe you have 50 family members. Somehow, some way, you have 50 freaking family members. You make freaking $500,000 or $1 million. Why aren't you leaving? Crisis
And
actors. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
funny
I'm
because
not trying to make it. I'm not trying to say that there's not legitimate people that are in need. I mean, there is, but like it's just crazy. And I want the war to end. I don't want them to die, and I don't blame them for like what they're doing. I don't want Palestinians to die. I want the war to end. I want us to stop funding other wars in other countries. But at the same time, I wouldn't go as far as say to give up our allyship with any country. But let's be honest here. We were never allies with freaking Ukraine. I mean, I don't know where the hell that came from. I know we had an agreement, some agreements with them, but does not mean we have a strong allyship with them whatsoever. You got Sharia law being taken over in Michigan. I think that's just Dearborn. That's just Dearborn. But if you guys have any comments, questions, anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free. Drop some super chats. Let me know how you guys feel on the situation. Again, the libraries are free. I just can't believe the liberals can't even do very simple research like, looking up to see, do illegal immigrants get health care from certain states? I mean, here, you want to see a list of all the states that
to play,
provide, we can
play
also talk about this. Sorry?
yeah. To play devil's advocate though, like a lot of people who are right leaning also don't do research, and they're also sheep and just blindly follow people. Like it's one thing to trust people, it's another thing to blindly trust. Like everybody should, if you like a source, if you think a source is credible, sure, trust it, but also do your own research to verify. I'm a firm believer in the statement: trust but verify, trust but verify, trust but verify.
I agree. I agree. But also, we got, this is what happens when you're raised by two women.
Yeah.
I mean, it can happen. It
I
happens.
mean, Megan Fox. Look, and Megan Fox is another example. It's kind of old, but what are the odds Megan Fox has three transgender sons? Excuse me.
Oh,
What are the odds? It's so improbable
yeah,
that it's
no,
like
that's totally improbable whatsoever. That's like, that's basically impossible statistically. It's statistically impossible unless she literally, what's the word for it? She groomed them.
it's absolutely cool. Let's see.
Here, let's ask ChatGPT. What's the probability of having three? You said they were daughters that were
Look,
transgender?
and just one. Let's see. A study found the percentage of young people aged 6 to 20 with gender dysphoria in the U.S. rose from 0.16 in 2016 to 0.48 in 2019. According to DSM-5, prevalence rates are estimated at a point not 5% to a point not 14% for natal males, a point not 2 to point not 3 for natal females. Like these statistics highlight the varying prevalence of gender dysphoria across different demographics, but like throughout the last 10 years, we've seen a rise in gender dysphoria, and it makes you question, like, is it because it's actually a thing or because the ideology is there and being pushed on people to weaken society as a whole and divide people further?
Okay, here, I'll tell you the exact statistical amount. Here's how rare it is to have, three transgender uh, uh, sons or daughters. 0.0000005%.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah,
Like literally,
to have
dude. It's
to have
the
one to have one child with gender dysphoria is a statistical anomaly. To have three is just that you are a child abuser and a child groomer, period. Because, sorry, grooming your child into believing they have gender dysphoria is child abuse.
Yeah, that
You're,
is
mi-
disgusting as
you're,
well.
you're mind fucking your child, essentially. And it's like,
Wow, Megan Fox is the luckiest person on earth. What the
oh
fuck?
yeah, three sons that all turned out to be girls. She should play the lottery every year.
Wow, 0.0000005%. Wow.
Yeah.
What do you want me to
Again,
look up, Wayne?
I'll play devil's advocate. There are extremes on both sides. I consider myself a moderate, but in general, especially over the last decade, the left has pushed even further left and more radical than the right has pushed further right.
Yes, illegal immigrants. You have to word the question right because the facts are ChatGPT. I mean, first off, let's talk about how ChatGPT has literally encouraged people to off themselves before. ChatGPT says, "Yeah, you should off yourself." Like it has literally convinced people to do that before. So let's not even go there. Second off, I'll show you. Look up California. Let's look this up. What is the? I think it's called California Care. Look that up, Wade. California Medicaid for illegals. Let's see what it's called. This is a huge specific program that anyone can look up. Medi-Cali, that's what it's called. Medi-Cali. Look up Medi-Cali, guys. Anyone out there saying that illegal immigrants do not get free health insurance, look up Medi-Cali. Very, very simple. This is half funded by the federal government, half funded by the state. $8 freaking billion a year. Look up Medi-Cali. You'll be proven wrong, Wayne. Illegal immigrants do get health care, and they get it for free while you're paying, freaking $500 a month for it.
Gavin Newsom wants to give free healthcare to illegal immigrants is not speculation. He literally drove Medi-Cal insolvent by doing precisely that. The program cost California taxpayers $23 billion over 2 years, forcing Newsom to get both an emergency loan and a bailout.
Yep, California's in debt because they give illegal immigrants freaking health care. Medi-Cali, guys. He had to get an emergency bailout because his state was in debt. Why are people screaming at the top of their lungs that California pays red states to survive? Seems like we had to bail out California to me.
Yo, that fault line just needs to erupt and California float off into the ocean already.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. That's what I'm saying. Also, New York has a huge program for, I don't know what state you're in, but New York has a huge program as well for illegal immigrants.
Yeah, my friend was telling me about it. I have a friend that lives in New York. Talk to him like every day. He was telling me about that. Like they give them free hotel rooms and shit every time, man. The
Free health,
economy
free
is
hotel rooms, free food stamps, free insurance. Man, then we wonder why they come into this country. If you could literally have everything given to you, free housing, free insurance, and free food, tell me you wouldn't want to go to that country. California had a 2.3 trillion
that's what
surplus until the Democrats came back to work and the pandemic time off. I mean, that's probably before freaking Gavin Newsom.
people don't fact check history. They have a bad habit of just blindly following, man. It's insane.
It is
Like
insane.
if you
There's
why do you have
millions
to
of Democrats that believe that illegal immigrants don't get health care. They won't even look up Cali Med. It's crazy.
Yeah. Any information can be fact checked with 3 independent news, like unbiased. It's hard to find unbiased. Like everybody has some form of bias, but then there is extreme bias, which is perpetrated by mainstream media, as an example, and people still trust mainstream media. It's insane. Like we have so many outlets for alternative media and independent news sources now that you could just follow those and get more accurately documented and reported information than mainstream's going to give you because they're paid for by people with a lot of money to put forth ideas and ideologies and other propagandas. It's just brainwashing.
California, Gavin Newsom lost the money. We are now $25 billion in debt in California. That's fucked up, my guy. How about you get rid of the insurance for the illegal immigrants? That'll save you about $8 billion a year.
We need to stop as a citizenry. We need to stop getting in the way of ICE agents from doing their job. Because let's
That's
be
another
realistic.
thing.
Let's be honest here. Illegal immigration is a criminal act. It's illegal.
That's the thing. A lot of Democrats actually think these illegal immigrants should stay. They also think they should get insurance with your taxpayer dollars.
It's insane.
Florida has a surplus. We didn't fuck up the money.
I see so many people online protesting about the rights for these groups that are marginalized, but not one person protesting for our government to do something about our homeless veteran epidemic or our homeless American citizen epidemic. Like, nah, I don't see this shit. I say, oh, you
Yep. I
stop.
mean, I guarantee you, if we reallocated all that money going towards insurance for illegal immigrants, we could get a lot of veterans, like maybe all of them, off the street even.
Like,
Yeah, how does Florida have a surplus with no state tax? Question for the Democrats. Since the blue states are so much better run, why is that the case?
Why are all the highest crime rate state cities or cities inside of blue states?
I don't know. That's interesting. They'll scream at the top of their lung. They'll say, "Look at this or look at this red state. Look at this red state." I mean, I've had this argument before. They just keep bringing up red states. Look at Louisiana, Tennessee. I knew someone was going to bring up Louisiana. Tennessee is actually, very safe. The only areas that are fucked up is Memphis. That's a blue city. Memphis
Yeah,
and all the
yeah,
big cities, a lot of them are blue red
yeah.
cities.
To narrow it down, it's more so blue cities are where all the crime's happening, not necessarily has anything to do with the state. Because states are big. Let's be realistic. America's a big ass country. Just because there's a high crime rate in a state, you got to narrow it down to the city as well.
Yep.
Because a state like, for example, Texas, there's a huge population difference inside the cities versus the countryside.
Here we go. New health insurance option for undocumented immigrants over 65. Right on the New York State's website. But the Democrats will still say, "Oh no, that's fake. Illegal immigrants, they don't get health insurance with our taxpayer dollars." I mean, there's no defending this. You can only come at it with two positions. The first position you would say is, "Oh, it's a lie." The second position you would say is, "Well, everyone should get free health insurance," and we already know that's not going to happen. So,
But the highest crime rate city in 2025 is St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri, not a blue state. St. Louis, a blue city.
I did not
Oh,
know
yeah.
that St. Louis was a blue city, but that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yes. St. Louis has the highest murder rate in the U.S. at 87.83 per 100,000 residents. City
Oh,
faces
that's
deep
higher
rooted.
than anywhere in South America. That's higher than countries in freaking Africa.
The city faces deep-rooted socioeconomic challenges, contributing to a violent crime rate of 2,082 per 100,000. That's insane.
See, this is all they'll scream. Food is a human right, and so should be healthcare. Okay, but we should not be giving it to illegal alien criminal immigrants. What do you not understand? Why are they getting it before Americans? What do you not understand? How thick is how thick do you gotta be? I really can't even fathom. Their country should pay for their health care. What about Medicaid and Medicare? That's health care for, legal people, but some illegals are getting some of that shit too. St. Louis makes Chicago look like a safe place. 15 to 20,000 people die per year
That's
in
funny.
Canada waiting for health care under
That's
socialism.
funny because Chicago isn't even top five, like highest crime rate cities. It's St. Louis, Baltimore, Memphis, Detroit, New Orleans.
That's scary, man. What do you think about Trump deploying the National Guard?
I mean, what else is going to happen? Wait, this is in Portland, Oregon, right?
Yeah. Look up what cities take the most welfare. I'll
But
do that.
what else? Here's the question. To a lot of people that like think that, oh, Trump is inciting military law or martial law by sending the National Guard to Portland, Oregon. What do you think's going to happen when you defund the police to the point where they can't take control of their own city? Of course, the next thing is going to be sending the National Guard in to reestablish order.
Yeah, no kidding. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Memphis. These are all the cities that take the most freaking welfare. Washington, D.C., Oakland, New Mexico, Eagle Pass, Texas, which, funny enough, is pretty close to the freaking border. Actually, is that a border town? Is Eagle Pass a border town?
No idea.
I'm looking it up. Let's see. Yes,
I know.
Eagle Pass is a border town, huh? Who figured a border town like Eagle Pass, Texas would have the most welfare? Huh, that's a strange coincidence. That's a strange coincidence. Definitely not the illegal immigrants, freaking taking it up. What president lowered insulin to $30? And don't say Joe Biden.
Insulin should be free.
It should be free.
No matter who like it's just pharmaceutical companies, they get away with too much. The insulin should be free. If it's a basic necessity that you need to survive, like that's absolutely necessary. That should be free.
I've
Like
already
shit,
looked
oxygen.
up Dearborn, Michigan. What do you want to know about Dearborn, Michigan? Let's get to 70 likes, fellas.
I question you think the American people would benefit greatly from no tax on overtime?
I mean, they benefit a bit from it. Depends how you define greatly. Some people will scream
No
that,
tax.
we need.
No
Sorry?
tax overtime. No tax on overtime, period.
Period? I mean, I think there's a
Period.
limit on it, but if it was no tax on all overtime, yeah, of course, I think they benefit a lot from it.
Yeah. That's what Trump's trying to push. But it keeps getting held up in Senate.
I think it passed in the big beautiful bill, didn't it?
It didn't completely pass. It's still stuck up in Senate, if I'm not mistaken. Or Congress, one of the two.
No, I 100% support that. I mean, apparently Kamala Harris supported that too, because the minute Trump said that during the 2024 campaign, she stole it.
It's in Congress. Sorry.
Sorry?
It's still in like Congress.
Is it? What are you reading? Let me look it up.
Maybe I'm reading an outdated source.
Let's see. It said, yes, as of 2025, no tax on tips deduction has become a law in the U.S. under the federal big beautiful bill on a federal level. The deduction is capped at $25,000 per year. It phases out for income earners who make over $150,000 a year. It takes effect for the 2025 tax year. So it takes effect this year. We're getting it right now.
Okay. It was stuck in Congress for a minute because of key figures like Bernie Sanders was holding it up, but
I mean, that's fucking ridiculous. Bernie Sanders makes millions of dollars. He doesn't want earners that aren't making millions of dollars to get no tax on tips. That's bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I can send it to you on.
I mean, 12 and a half. Like this person in chat said only up to $12,500 max. You don't understand though. $12,500 tax free. It can very much be life changing money to the average person. Like, because the average American income is
Dude, $12,000 in some states can pay your. It depends if you're like in a If you're like in a really suburban, or if you're out in the country somewhere, you can pay your rent with $12,000 in a year. Some places are around that, like $1,000 or $1,200. It's gonna be not the easiest find, but you can find them if you go out in the country. And not to mention, that's a blatant lie. That guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. It's capped at $25,000 per year. Just ask ChatGPT. It'll give you the sources. It'll give you the IRS sources. It'll give you the news sources. Just ask, did no tax on tips go into effect? It'll pop up. It'll give you all the information you want to know. It'll give you the sources. It'll give you the IRS sources. By the way, this whole no tax on tip things, it also goes for digital creators. Of course, if you're making over $150,000 a year, you don't get it. But if you're getting like super chats, or you're streaming, or you're doing anything online, if you get tips on there, it's no tax. It's not capped at $12,000. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's $25,000 a year. But maybe if you opened fucking Google and actually you read a little bit, you would know. And who cares? I mean, it should. I don't believe, if you're making a fucking $1 million a year, I mean, maybe you can pay your fucking tax on tips. Just saying. Or maybe if you're making 200 grand a year, yeah, you can pay tax on tips. So yeah, there should be capped. No, there's nothing about married joint tax filers getting more. I don't. It doesn't work like that. The only thing that goes up is if you're married, you can make $300,000 a year, and then you'll start paying tax on tips. But if you're single and you're not
I thought
married, sorry,
I was just reading. I was just reading the bill. I thought it was 200,000.
200,000.
Yeah,
I
let
see
me pull the bill up.
150,000.
Oh, okay. No, the guy was on something. The Tax on Overtime Act. It's workers can't if it's individual deduction is 12,500. If you're filing jointly,
Okay,
it's
yeah, I do see that now.
yeah. Let's see. HR 561 Overtime Pay Tax Relief Act of 2025. In Section 224. C, limitation, no deduction shall be allowed under subsection A for any
But
tax.
let's be honest, most taxpayers don't even pay tax on cash tips.
Yeah. So it says here, no deduction shall be allowed under subsection A for any taxpayer whose adjusted gross income for the taxable year exceeds one, in the case of a married couple filing jointly, $200,000. Two, in the case of head of household, $150,000. Or three, in the case of any other individual, $100,000. And then subsection A is in general, there shall be allowed a deduction an amount equal to so much of any overtime compensation received by an individual as does not exceed 20% of such individual's other wage from the same employer for the taxable year. So yeah, filing jointly, it's 200K household income.
And what is it for a single taxpayer file?
Singular, like in the case of an individual, if you're making more than $100,000, and then if it's the case of head of household, so there's other people in your household, it's 150,000.
Are you Democrats? Why the fuck would we be Democrats?
I'm a firm believer, like we should just vote just because the person that's running is Republican or Democrat. We should take the time to analyze the policies that are being presented and pushed by both parties and come to the decision ourselves on which policies is for the betterment of our citizenship as Americans. Like,
I mean, I like some Democrats. I like John Fetterman, but most of the
they're,
Democrats
they're,
out
they're
there are not fucking good.
There are good and bad policies from both sides, but that's what matters. Policies and the ability for the people who we put in power to actually hold them accountable to put forward the policies that they're proposing. It's that simple. It's not, oh, I don't like Trump, Trump bad, I'm voting Kamala Harris. Oh, I don't like Kamala Harris bad, I'm voting Trump. Look at the policy. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter if the guy is a piece of shit or if Kamala's dumb as a bag of rocks. It doesn't matter. The policies matter.
Yep, I 100% agree. People are too caught up with, oh, Trump's fucking greedy. Trump's, a piece of shit. Blah, 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 blah. But I don't think Kamala Harris really ran on any, she didn't run on really any policy. Her policy was giving more abortions. That's the only thing she ran on. That's where she fucked up at. Men don't care about that. Most men aren't going to vote for a fucking woman because they're going to give more abortions. I'm just saying. The only other two policies I remember of Kamala was no tax on tips, which she stole from Donald Trump, and also a $25,000 tax credit for home buyers. How the fuck is that going to work? First off, and second off, if everyone starts buying homes at once, what is that going to do to the home prices?
We need to, as the late and great Charlie Kirk once said, we need to stop institutions and private companies and
like
private
BlackRock and
investors
State Street and Vanguard.
from buying up the housing market because it's pushing it just for them to turn around and rent it out for 10x what they paid.
And if she
It's
really wanted to
insane.
help Americans buy houses, that's exactly what she would have advocated for. But probably her donors are fucking BlackRock, so of course she's not going to advocate for that. I'm interested on what Trump does for rent prices and housing prices because I know he has like a guy that he put into place. I forget the dude's name. He's in control of the federal housing market, and both of them have said multiple times that they're working on something to help lower rent prices, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, didn't Trump raise the child tax credit to $2,200 a year?
I have no idea.
I mean, someone
I'll
said
be honest.
something about, oh, she promised children $3,000 at birth. I mean, Trump raised the child tax credit to $2,200 a month or $2,200. Not per month, but yeah, $2,200. Good morning, James. And also, he started that one program. What the fuck was it called? It was called like the Trump something. Of course, it was named after himself, but it's where children get $1,000 when they're born, invested into like an account for them, and if they keep this account until they're like 50 years old, it goes up to like $1 million. Just off $1,000, and you can also add more money into it. Let's see what it's called. Let's see, Trump birth account. No, not a Trump birthday account. Maybe it was. I don't know. Let's see. I mean, the liberal parents would just pull the $1,000 out instantly and spend it on transgender reassignment surgery for their newborn baby. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But the smart Americans keep that money in there.
I heard you mention abortion earlier. What's your views on that? I imagine it's probably the same, but like ultimately, like overall, what is your general view of it?
I mean, first off, people will scream at the top of their lungs that, like this one lady, I was debating her husband, and this is a little bit of a short story, but I was debating her husband. They were both huge libtards. I see this gorilla of a woman from the distance. She has pink hair, and I say, hey, can
It's
I?
always pink.
She saw my Trump hat, so I was like, hey, I've converted your husband over to supporting Donald Trump. she instantly starts screaming, "The fuck you did!" Her gorilla ass, her 450-pound gorilla ass, started coming over to the camera. She started screaming. She snatches his phone. She snatches his phone right out of his hand. She takes it. She starts screaming. She's like, Trump got rid of allowing abortions in the Constitution. He's killing women all over the world. He's killing women all over the country. And then I tell her, she's like, "We need abortions back." I'm like, "So what? You can kill more babies?" And as soon as I said that, she started getting really fucking triggered. She's like, "No, no, abortions save women." I'm like, "Save women from what? Killing their babies?" And then she just gets way more offended. But no, I really don't support it, but like I just believe letting it up to the states at the end of the day, because I don't want women to. They'll still do it regardless if we make it illegal or not. So I'm just gonna say whatever the states want. I don't really care how they handle it. Just leave it up to the states.
Yeah.
But like I don't really support it. The only cases I support it is for like rape, incest or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I I even disagree with it in the instances of rape because two wrongs never make a right. Let's be intellectually honest about this. If I punch you in the face and you punch me in the face, we're both wrong. If I punch you
Yeah.
in the face and you say I forgive you and walk away, that's absolutely the right thing to do. Right? Would you be justified to punch me back? Yes, but it's still wrong. So if a man does a heinous act and grapes someone and they have the unfortunate mishappening of getting pregnant from that grape, killing that child, which has a right to its own life, doesn't make it right. Like that's just another net negative in the situation.
I agree with you, but the only
Net negatives don't
traumatizing
make it
thing is like imagine a woman raising that child and like looking at the baby like, damn, this looks like the man that raped me. Like that's the only.
right.
Maybe she shouldn't be forced to raise it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it can go to adoption center, etc. I know there's other ways, but
Yeah. So
that's
I
the
was
only
about to
thing
say
that
that
I think is kind of fucked up.
like, but babies' rights are human rights. Every human has the right to live. That's a moral absolute we can all agree on. And if babies aren't humans, like a lot of abortionists believe, then why is it if that's the argument, fetuses aren't humans yet, et cetera, et cetera. Why is it that when a pregnant woman dies in a car accident that she was involved in with the drunk driver, he gets charged with a double homicide? If they're not people,
Yeah, or if someone kills, a pregnant woman.
I personally the only exception for abortion in my eyes is if both carrying completely to term puts both the mother and the child at risk. If you can't save either by delivering the baby, would be the only exception. Which is a
What if
very,
the woman will
very rare.
die?
That's still rare. We have a cesarean section. Usually, the mother won't die because C sections exist as one of the safest practices in delivering babies
Yeah, I
in,
think
in
it's only like, a really small amount, like, not even a
very,
hundred women a year
very
die
small.
from giving birth.
Like, I think the only exception is if it puts both the lives at risk, not just one. Because again, cesarean section is usually one that prevents death of the mother. Because usually in childbirth, death comes from a natural birth, not the cesarean section in and of itself.
I mean, this guy was screaming at the top of his lungs that he was for abortion. This is the most disgusting abortion stance I've ever heard. He said he would give an abortion up to the day before the fucking birth, dude. That is fucking demented
I
and demonic.
I also love the argument about people thinking that guys shouldn't have a say because they're not the one carrying the baby. Well, that baby is half my DNA.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm the father. I'm the father. It's my child. If I have to pay child support if a woman doesn't want to be with me and has my kid, and I have to pay child support, why do I not get a say in whether or not that baby gets aborted? if I am forced into it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, but the argument is it your body? No, it's not my body, but the baby isn't the woman's body either. The baby is not the woman's body. It's that
Booyah.
simple. That is not your body. Do what you want with your body, but the baby inside you is not your body. It has a right to live.
Some
It is
people
a
will say
human.
until the baby is sentient, that's the stupidest argument I've ever heard because the baby is
Why?
actually
Why?
sentient when since the baby isn't sentient when it's inside the mother already. So it might not have like the same self awareness me and you have, but it's sentient. It knows that it's alive.
Yeah. And there's another argument people love to use, like, oh, babies are parasites. They need you to live whenever you're carrying them. Well, by that definition, they're parasites until 4 years old, 5 years old, when they can find food for themselves. They're parasites for quite a long while because
Or
children
with
are
that
dependent
definition,
on.
they're parasites until they move the fuck out of your house.
Oh, yeah, like you can't be liberal with the fucking definition. Words have meanings. People just
Yeah,
want to.
liberals aren't really good with definitions of words. I've learned that. Especially with words like invasion and sentient and what else do they not fucking know the definition of? Just a bunch of different words, but mostly words like invasion. They have a really hard understanding of what the fuck it means when I say illegal immigrants are invading this country. They don't seem to know what
So
invading means.
I had a discussion last night with
Word
some people.
fetus, yeah, that's another word they don't know. Continue though.
We
Sorry.
Yeah, fetus in Latin means little human being. Literally, I don't understand that. But I was having a discussion just to get off the topic of children and stuff for a moment, just to deviate a little bit. I was having a discussion with some people in Discord last night about relationships, divorce rates, et cetera, et cetera. And I gave a hypothetical because women in general, yeah, um, seem to skirt accountability at every corner. This we can probably agree on because, like, I almost never see anybody who is female taking accountability for their actions. So the hypothetical I proposed, and I'm gonna propose one involving me. If I were to walk into a predominantly black neighborhood, shouting the N word with a hard R, and I get jumped by 6 dudes and beaten half to death, have to go to the hospital, do I hold some form of accountability for that?
Absolutely.
Or is it completely and utterly entirely their fault for jumping me?
No, you definitely got some accountability.
Yeah, because I knew what I was walking into and did that, so I would be held partially accountable, knowing that that could be the potential outcome, right? So by that logic, wouldn't it make sense that, and as terrible as it is, if a woman at 3 a.m. in the morning walks down a dark alley in skimpy clothing and she were to get raped, would she not bear some accountability for that?
Once again, I think she would bear some accountability for that. But if you say that, then you're
To
like,
be logically
that's a
consistent.
heinous fucking
No,
thing
no.
to say.
So it's not to justify. Let me be very clear. It's not to justify rape. That is wrong. It's heinous, and it should be punishable by the death penalty, in my opinion. Um, but you also have to be responsible and take accountability for the actions you choose. It is common sense not to walk down a dark alley at 3 a.m. in the morning. Right?
Especially dressed like that.
Not even you wouldn't even really do that as a man. You would feel more comfortable as a man to do that because you're more physically capable of defending yourself. But it still wouldn't be common sense, especially if it's like a high crime basic. It's just it's illogical.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid. You know, it's just one of my favorite things to bring up whenever women love to skirt accountability. I'm just like, well, here's a hypothetical for you. You know, take some accountability for your own actions. Like heinous action was committed. I condemn that. That dude should be locked up if he's not receiving the death penalty, locked up for life. But you're also partly to blame for walking down the alleyway.
I 100%
Knowing
agree.
that,
I mean, I don't know what else to say.
knowing
If
that could potentially happen.
if you go into dangerous situations and you do dangerous things, I believe in accountability. Even though people are saying, watch it, watch it, watch it. I mean, the same thing for a man. If you go into Chicago and you go to O Block at 3 in the morning, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in America, where people are known to shoot and kill each other. If you go there at 3 in the morning, do you think that you're not accountable for what the fuck happens to you?
Right.
I mean, shit, it's probably more dangerous there in the daytime, but like,
Like, and this isn't to put women down. I respect women. I think that their opinions in the right situation will matter, but a lot of them, in my experience, throughout personal life experiences,
I mean, if a man,
they
here's another
they
thing. If a
they
man,
just
let me just make it fair to everyone out there.
yeah.
If a man goes into a gay neighborhood, he's wearing a fucking thong. He goes through there, let's say the most gay neighborhood in America, San Francisco. He goes there wearing a thong. You see his ass cheeks hanging out. You see his fucking wiener with the thong he's wearing. But he's a straight man.
Mhm.
He's wearing a fucking crop top and another man jumps out of the fucking dark and starts brutally
SA,
they essay him, yeah. Then
yeah,
whose fucking
he
fault
bears
is it?
some
This man is a
accountability for
straight man. But why the fuck does he have his booty cheeks and his nuts hanging out in a gay fucking neighborhood at 3 in the morning? I mean, like, and if we reverse the gender roles and reverse the male female thing, then I mean, like, it seems like people would say, yeah, that's probably that guy's fault. Why is he wearing that? I have no fucking idea. Why would he be wearing that? Maybe he
Right.
just came from like something with his wife. I don't know, and he didn't call a taxi.
Yeah. It's just wild, man. Like accountability seems to be something that in general, there are exceptions, but the generality is not defined by the exception. The rules are not defined by exceptions. So in general, women love to skirt accountability. I've experienced this my entire life. They do something wrong. And I'm in the vicinity. If I'm in a group, we're having a discussion, they get upset over something they said that I put them in their place about, and then they're like, "Well, no, you hurt my feel." Like I'm the bad guy because I'm the dude. You know, it's wild to think. Um, like accountability is everything. People need to hold themselves accountable. Period.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And
What if
if
Republicans were benefiting from all the illegal aliens? I don't know what the hell the scenario is going on, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Honestly, I don't know how the Democrats are even benefiting from it. That's what I'm. That's what I'm. Oh wait, that's right. They get votes when the Democrats pass laws to benefit the illegal aliens. That makes them vote for them. And also, there's a bunch of other things you can tie that into. But I'm probably gonna hop off now. But I appreciate you coming through, and that was a good discussion and a good talk. We should do it again sometime as well. It was a lot of fun and just talking shit back and forth. But
yeah,
yeah, man, have a good day. I appreciate you.
peace.
Peace, man.